Hey Hoopers, it's Indigo Flow Arts here, and I just received my package from ZL Hula Hoops. I ordered a 30-inch hula hoop, and as you can see, my buddy Bandit here is gonna help me unbox this. I'm very excited. I ordered this on a Friday, and it got here yesterday, which was a Thursday. So less than a week, which is awesome. And yeah, let's open this baby up. So this is the packaging. The box is taped on each side. Okay, my box came a little bit damaged, unfortunately. Hopefully nothing will be wrong with the hoop when I open it. So let's see. Alright, so this is the inside of the box. As you can see, it comes with a little packet. What is this? Oh, okay, so it's like tutorials on, how to read the hoop, how to put the battery in, how to use the remote, how to find other tutorials. Okay, that's awesome. Awesome, very nice, good quality guide there. This appears to be the accessories. He's very intrigued. You guys, this is so cute. They have a little classic price tag attached to the hoop here. That's so freaking cute. Okay, so here's what was in that little packet. And on the little guide, it says here we have lithium ion battery and the recharger. We have petroleum jelly, toothbrush, a little wristband to show your support for ZL hoops, the remote of course, and some sandpaper so you could sand the inside for extra grip. So let's get this hoop untaped and ready to uncoil. Hey guys, so it is a little bit over a week later. I would say probably close to 2 weeks since I've unboxed my ZL hula hoop. And it's really not what I was expecting. First of all, the hoop was pretty heavy when I got it. I wasn't expecting it to be heavy. I did have it counterbalanced. But I didn't think that would add too much of a weight on. I wasn't really sure. I've just heard that getting it counterbalanced might be beneficial. And I figured, hey, it's better than having a lopsided hoop. So that ended up making it really heavy at first, but I would say after consistently using it for a week that I definitely got used to that. As far as the uncoiling time goes, it was technically fine after like, I want to say 5 hours. When I first got the hoop, I was very busy the next few days after that, so it really wasn't too difficult to allow the hoop to expand naturally like it should. Normally I'm very impatient when it comes to letting a hoop uncoil because I just want to use it. So yeah, hoop coil time was good. So this hoop is not very user friendly. I don't really have anything to compare this to, any other hoops to compare this to, because this is my first smart hoop, and it being a smart hoop, it makes sense that it would be complicated to use. And before I bought it, I watched all the tutorials that they have on their site. I was also kind of disappointed that on the website it doesn't give you any option to see what the patterns on the hoop look like in just a picture format. Like in the photos they have across their website, you can see that there are trails of what the different hoop patterns look like, but you can't actually see, or at least I haven't found out a way to see what each pattern looks like on the hoop. And for some people that might not be a big deal, but for me, I'm just really curious as to what patterns I'm seeing. on the hoop, for some of them at least. I mean, some of them are super clear, obviously, and for the most part, it looks like really cool colors, really cool lights, and turning up the brightness can also affect how clear the patterns are, and I'll get back to brightness in a second. But it's hard for me to personally see the patterns. So far, what I've noticed is that it depends on the type of lighting that you're in. That will determine how well you can see the hoop. I know one time when I was hooping on an outdoor basketball court at night, I could see the patterns really well as I was hooping with them, and that was a lot of fun. There were a few fluorescent lights around, but for the most part, I was hooping in the dark. Another setting is in my room. You can see the patterns very well on a video recording from, the darkness of my room with some string lights in the background. I took another video at Central Park underneath a terrace that is lighted on the inside, but not all parts of it are lighted. And if you want, you can check out my Instagram videos that I posted from there. That was my first time using the hoops in public with other people, other hoopers, and that was a lot of fun. All in all, it's not always easy to see what patterns are on the hoop at one given time, so I wish that there was a way to see what the patterns are supposed to look like. And real quickly, I do want to mention that the hoop comes with this packet. I know I showed it in the beginning part of this video, and it does say on here, like, what sorry, you can see the shadow of my phone in this. It does show on here what patterns you're supposed to see, but there's kind of some guesswork involved as to whether or not you're going to the right pattern. Another thing that's confusing about the pattern selection is that you have 3 groups of patterns, and within each group you have 10 different categories of patterns, and within each pattern you have different light settings that you can choose, which is awesome. I love that variety. It's just sometimes hard to tell. I mean, it takes a lot of playing around with the hoop to really go through each pattern and say, okay, this is group 1, pattern 1, color scheme 1, group 1, pattern 1, color scheme 2. And I'm actually working on some videos just for myself to help me learn the hoop a little bit better. I'm working on some videos with each group, each pattern, each color scheme in the pattern, just so that I know what the patterns are supposed to look like, because like I said, I just really want to know, and I feel like the better you know your hoop and the patterns that it can create for you, then the better you can manipulate the audience experience and your own experience with the hoop. I want the hoop to look really cool when I'm using it, and I want the hoop to look really cool when the audience sees it, but I also want to be in control of what the audience can see. And if I know that there's one pattern setting that would look cooler than another for a certain situation, then I want to be able to utilize that. So I guess that's the main reason that I want to know what each pattern is, just so that I can have a little bit more control of what I use and when. So that's a little bit complicated, but I mean, I'm not complaining. It is a steep learning curve, but I kind of like the challenge, and I like having to figure the hoop out. That being said, I don't think that all the instructions are very clear, and there are some instructions in this little packet that are not really talked about in the tutorial videos, and vice versa. So you'll get like one piece of the instructions from the packet and then another piece from the instructions in the videos, and sometimes there's just some questions that I have that I still can't find through either, and I just kind of have to figure it out. Okay, so I think I only have one more con for the ZL hula hoop so far, and that is the battery life. When you get the hula hoop, they send you 2 batteries, and they send you a little battery carrying case that has 4 slots, so you can put 4 pre-charged batteries in your bag, carry them around with you. When one hoop battery dies, you just replace them, right? I haven't kept exact time, but I would say each battery lasts roughly for 2 hours, and that's with me turning it off and on multiple times throughout those 2 hours. So in total, 8 hours of battery life, which is not bad. You know, I'm really not dissatisfied with the battery life at all. I think it's really great. It's just not that great when you're learning how to use the hoop because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely the kind of person who, when I set down to do something or to learn something, I want to chug through as much of it as I possibly can in one sitting. And I know for some people that's like, oh my god, how can you do that? But, you know, once I start something, I want to get as far as I possibly can, because once I stop, I'm not gonna go back to it for like who knows how long. So yeah, when you're first learning, the 2-hour battery life is kind of annoying, and I had forgotten to charge the second battery that came in the pack. So yeah, the first day I played around with it, I didn't really get very far because the battery kept dying. It's something that you need to do when you have other things to do, you know? You don't want to just be sitting and waiting for the battery to recharge, because that's just boring, at least for me. And it kind of made me feel like, okay, well, tomorrow I'll spend more time figuring out this hoop. This is what the recharger looks like. You put the batteries in here, it kind of just pushes down into that, and then the light glows when there's a battery in it. It'll glow red if it's dead, yellow if it's halfway charged, and green if it's fully charged. And of course it has a plug like this, so I'm not really sure what I could bring camping with me that would be able to charge this. Someone suggested to me a generator of some sort, but I don't know. I'm gonna look to the Amazon gods and see what I can find, because I gotta have my hoop every single day of Electric Forest. Like, it's just not a question. I at least want the option. So that's another thing I'm a little bit worried about. And the other thing I was going to say about brightness. Obviously, the brighter that you have the hoop, the faster the battery's going to go. That's just kind of common sense. Like I said, I took it to a meetup and it was totally fine. I was able to enjoy the hoop for as long as I needed to, and I didn't have to change the battery at all while I was there. So that was really nice. So considering that, I'd probably say the battery life could be close to 3 hours. Like I said, I wasn't really keeping close track of time. So yeah, those are all the negative/neutral opinions that I have on this hoop. Now on to the really good stuff. This hoop is extremely vibrant and extremely customizable. And I know I was kind of saying before that having a lot of options can take a long time and it's a little bit overwhelming, but ultimately I really like that about the hoop, because once I get to know everything there is to know, how to navigate the hoop, how to change the colors, the patterns, the, you know, fade, sparkle, like whatever effects the hoop has, once I learn all that and I master it, it's gonna be freaking awesome, because you can save certain pattern modes, you can delete certain pattern modes, you can save an entire setting that you created. So if you, let's say you wanted to hoop on group 1, pattern 1, and you wanted it to be in the fade mode inside out, and you wanted each pattern in the group to repeat 5 times before it moves on to the next one, you can save that exact setting onto the hoop. So that's really cool. Again, I don't know all the details of that yet, and I feel like once I opened the hoop and once I started playing with it, I tried to just figure it out without the manual. I do not recommend that. Do not recommend that, because I think that I may have accidentally changed some patterns around or deleted something. I don't know, because now when I try to follow the instructions in the guide, some things don't work exactly like it says it's supposed to. I really don't know. Definitely follow along with the guide and the online tutorials. Another thing I really like about this hoop is its weight. And I know I had this under the con section too, but having to adjust to a heavier hoop makes it easier to hoop with my daytime hoops. And I have both HDPE and Polypro daytime hoops, and I've found that it's easier to hoop with both types. It's really beneficial to have diverse practice with different types of hoops. Another thing that I love about this hoop, which is mainly the reason that I got it, was that it is a gapless LED hoop. As you can see here, this is why the hoop is gapless. So if you can see this dark space here, this is where this side of the hoop connects to this side of the hoop, and there's a coil on one of these sides and a little ridge on the other side, and that's where the battery connects to the coil, and that's how the hoop turns on. I really, really, really love that about the hoop. I also love that it came with its own sandpaper because I was able to sand the inside and the outside, and I honestly can say that I prefer that to using grip tape, especially for this kind of hoop, because it's easier to see the patterns as you're hooping with it if you don't have grip tape on it. I love hooping with this hoop because, like I said, in certain lighting you can see the patterns so crisp and so clear, and it's just so I don't know, I just get so excited when I'm hooping with this and I can see all the patterns and I'm just really flowing with the music, and it looks cool to others. It just feels great to me, and overall it's a great first LED hoop, I think. Again, it's not really what I expected with the size and the weight. I did order a 30-inch diameter inner diameter, and I do like it. It is a bit of an adjustment. You know, every hoop that you get, you kind of have to feel your space within the hoop and find your flow with it, and I feel like I kind of forgot about that a little bit with this hoop. You know, every daytime hoop that I get, I really try to get to know the hoop before I try to learn any advanced tricks with it, and with the LED hoop, I think I kind of assumed that, you know, once I got it, I would automatically be a better hooper, and that's just not the case. You know, you still have to feel your flow with each hoop that you get. You still have to be aware of the space it takes up around your body, the ways in which you can move with it. It's an adjustment just like any other hoop is, and I'm glad that I was able to come back to that realization with this, because I'm not gonna lie, like the first day or two that I was using it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, but you know, I'm doing the same 4 or 5 tricks with it. You know, how can I make it still look cool while I hoop with it? And I kind of found the answer to that is that you have to still be yourself. You still have to genuinely hoop with it as if it's any other hoop that you own. Don't try to force the flow, don't try to force tricks, just move in a way that feels natural to you. And ultimately, that's how hula hooping should be. That's how finding your flow should be. It should be ways in which you naturally want to move your body, tricks that naturally come into your flow. And again, everyone has a different way that they like to hoop. Everyone has a different technique. Everyone likes to learn things in a different way. My personal advice, if you want to get into hooping, any kind of hooping, is to be true to yourself. Listen to how your body wants to move and what tricks feel natural for you to learn next. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was my review of the ZL LED hula hoop. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, please do. Of course, you guys can also go over and follow me on Instagram. That's the social media platform I use the most right now. The party will continue there. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in another video.